like you, helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Apple's News app is facing new scrutiny over allegations of political bias. A recent study by the Media Research Center found that in January, 440 of 620 featured stories came from outlets rated as left-leaning, 180 from centrist sources, and none from right-leaning outlets. The findings promoted Federal Trade Commission Chairman Andrew Ferguson to send a letter to Apple CEO Tim Cook, questioning whether the app's curation could raise concerns under federal consumer protection law. Apple News Editor-in-Chief Lauren Kern has previously said the platform takes its editorial responsibility seriously. Apple has not yet responded to the latest allegations. A new analysis shows more voters are abandoning the traditional two major parties in the U.S., fueling heightened partisanship and frustration with the political system. Experts say this trend reflects broader dissatisfaction and may encourage independent and moderate voices ahead of the future elections. Sometimes the National Day calendar has it right. Today is one of those days.
Your Wednesday just got a little better as it's National Drink Wine Day. You choose any color, any brand, as all offer health benefits. Scientific Health says 1 glass of wine supports heart health, reduces inflammation, and improves cholesterol, and has the same health benefits as 7 glasses of OJ, and probably a lot more fun, as wine is social, meant to be shared with food and a friend. Just designate a driver. I'm Bree Tennis.
I'm Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
Dependable Lock Service is your source for replacement car keys, custom safes from Liberty Safe, and so many more lock and key services. With over 30 years of experience in lock and key industry, there's nothing Dependable Lock Service can't do for you. Whether you're looking for duplicate automotive chip keys, rekeying commercial and residential locks, or custom safe building, we've got you covered. Call 603-886-0559. Nashua's Dependable Lock Services, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning. I'm Ed Mullen from Nashua Aerial Advertising. There's no better way to advertise your business and or message than high in the sky. How can you make your advertising budget work for you? By putting your ads up where they'll stand out. The sky is an uncluttered, impressive venue. You can put your message over a region or location to target your desired demographic. Put your ads where they're needed. We provide coverage over communities through Merrimack Valley, Greater Nashua, Manchester, Lowell, and points throughout South Central New Hampshire and North Central Mass. Summertime beaches, sporting events, races, fairs, and festivals are all ready-made for banner telling. For more information, please visit us online at NashuaAerialAdvertising.com. And remember, the sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning.
Tired of wondering where your money really goes? At Mammoth Nation, we built what was missing. The America First Marketplace. Every brand we feature is 100% American owned and operated, rigorously vetted for their values and committed to supporting our Constitution, law enforcement, and the American dream. When you shop with us, your dollar stays in the neighborhood, supporting families, veterans, and charities like Folds of Honor. No more sending your hard-earned money overseas to the companies that don't respect you here. Your dollar reflects your values. Your dollar, your values. Your America. Join Mammoth Nation today and be part of building a patriot economy by going to TruckersUnitedForFreedom.com affiliate page and hit that link. American built, America strong. Mammoth Nation.
The views and opinions of the following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Welcome to the Common Sense Conservatives, a political discussion group about current events and other government-related matters every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on WSMN 1590 AM, WSMN 95.3 FM, and streaming live on wsmn.live. Making sense of the inverted reality we are subject to every day, the Common Sense Conservatives are here to help bring you back to reality. Now, your hosts, Chris Wyatt, Todd McKinley, and John Glovender.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Common Sense Conservatives. It is another Wednesday night. I got to get Chris Wyatt in here. Somehow he fell out, and I don't know.
There he is. Hey, Carl.
I'm here. I've been here.
I thought I had him in there before we started the show, but yeah, it's another beautiful Wednesday. I tell you, the weather's getting nice out there, guys. Really enjoyable weather. Up in the 40 degrees, 40-something degrees this afternoon.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not crying.
No,
So
you shouldn't.
How you doing over there in Tennessee, Todd? How you enjoying that weather?
No, not bad. I'm going to tell you, we had the snow and ice, a lot of days out of school, a lot of days shut in, and now we can sit outside and have a cigar, have a coffee, have a beer out there if you want to, have a grill out. You're getting that faux springtime out there right now. It's feels good.
That's kind of like the thing, isn't it? You're getting that kind of like you get a little nice reprieve from all that cold. We've had a pretty
You're
bad
feeling
this year,
like,
man.
oh, I can't wait to be able to sit outside and be outside on the regular.
It kind of feels warm when normally we would call this cold. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. The weather is a bit warmer. The snow is melting. It's the longest I've seen snow stay on the ground since I moved to Pennsylvania a few years back. But nothing to worry about. It's going to snow again this weekend.
Oh,
but it's that Pennsylvania warming you have up there, right? It's not global warming; it's Pennsylvania warming, maybe.
Apparently, it is today. That's right. It's a little bit of it today, but yeah, I'm doing all right. Just busy as usual with all the different things taking place today. I had a good afternoon this afternoon. The United States won 2-1 in extra time against Sweden. It looked like they were going to have their hearts broken by Sweden yet again, who broke them in Torino in 2006. But they managed to get themselves a goal and swung it in on a 3-on-3 there in the extra time. So that's good news. But 3 of the quarterfinals went to overtime Olympic hockey today. I didn't get to watch the other 2 games. I was busy working. And this one I only got to watch because I went to visit someone at the airport, a pilot friend of mine who flew in today. And so I went to visit him at the private terminal, and driving to and from there, I got to put it on the phone, listen to it while I was driving back and forth. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Waiting for the snow, which means to get the snowblower out since I don't shovel anymore.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little hard when it gets wet, though, isn't it? I mean, you're just
you got to think he needs that replacement hip and the replacement eyes and all this stuff. So he just uses a machine eyes. Now.
Man, I can read license plates 200 yards away.
All right.
Those are just readers for convenience.
Okay, no, they're readers because my retina tore twice while I was still in the Army. I had laser surgery to repair my retina twice, and the floater gets in the way and it confuses the brain. So after a period of time, it's led to where I have to wear these reading glasses. But I mean, let's be honest, 95% of adults over the age of 50 have presbyopia, the hardening of the lenses. So they need reading glasses, 95% of adults. I didn't need them until very recently, but need them mostly only when I'm very tired and I'm working hard. If I'm not doing that, I'm good to go. But I'm tired right now. It's been a long day.
I had that about 10 years ago, man. You start pulling out readers. You're like, well, what's this? I'll just use these for magnification purposes as I'm on my phone or whatever. And,
I know all about it.
Before I knew it, I'm in there getting eye prescription.
There he is. But the other thing about them too is, okay, I wouldn't wear those either. Todd.
No,
Todd. You look like Hazel.
They're nearly cat's eye glasses.
Hazel, I love it.
No, that's good. No, but the readers. Look, I mean, the funny thing is when my eyes are a little bit out of whack for the reading, and I don't have them, it's like, what the heck does that say? I can't even read that anymore. It's amazing. I've had exceptional eyesight. I've had it my entire life, and hearing as well. And suddenly, it's again, I've told you guys, if the Health and Human Services want to do something helpful for American citizens, they need to produce a pamphlet that says crap that stops working after you turn 50.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
Lots of things just don't work the same way anymore, whether you've been healthy or fit or whatever. If you've been athletic like I have and Todd active in uniform, that takes a toll on the body, whether you like it or not. I mean, I retired and no hip problems, no neuropathy. Well, no vision problems, no nothing, and now it's like everything's just like falling apart, but I'm still healthier than 98% of people in my age group. That's for sure.
Man, when I was much younger, they used to say the cure for a hurt back is more work. I wonder how that works after 50.
What kind of drug addict addicted clown told you that?
It works. I mean, you warm up your muscles and stuff, and as soon as they cool down or you sit down for a period of time, everything stiffens right back up again.
Yeah, but if you got blown disc and stuff, you can't warm those up, can you?
No. We're talking about a hurt back and I worked out hard yesterday.
But you guys know the phrase "you can't fix stupid," right? You can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a text message from Senator John Kennedy. It says, "Not even duct tape can fix."
I got the
stupid.
same one. I got the same one.
That's Kennedy's hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
Unlike a lot of politicians, he probably came up with that they used.
Yeah, he's smart as heck too, though.
He is. He's highly intelligent.
Oh yeah.
So Jesse Jackson died yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, that was interesting news. I guess it was bound to happen. What was he, 84, I think?
84.
84, yeah.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson.
I met him one time. I was in Chicago. I was getting ready to go into the Gibson's restaurant there, and he was walking out with a little entourage, and we're like, "Hey, Reverend, hey, can we take a photo with you?" He had no problem taking a photo and spending time with everybody, no problem. And he just talked to everybody, really nice, casual, very, very kind. Didn't say anything sideways. And I'm like, the person I was with is still from Chicago, and she was like, "I cannot stand this guy. Here's the reason." She laid it out there. She's had run-ins with him apparently in his group of people. But I was like,
when was this?
2010, I think. 2010, yeah.
So he hadn't quite developed Parkinson's yet. That hit around 2015. So he was still himself then. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And he was nice and cordial, and he joked with everybody. And I was like, well, it seemed nice. And of course, he's a public person. He knows how to work a crowd for sure. But obviously our politics certainly differ, but he was nice to me in that moment. So, and I give him that.
Well, it seems odd, but when I heard that he passed away at 84, I thought that's too young. I mean, after on Sunday we found out that what's his name passed away. Robert Duvall passed away. That's some pretty good innings there, man. That guy was bald for 70 plus years.
Yeah, during The Godfather, he was wearing a hairpiece.
Exactly. I mean, he was bald when he became an actor in the 60s, early 60s. No, Duvall was an incredible actor. It was ironic because Sunday I couldn't sleep for a bit, and so I put on Jack Reacher, the original Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise, the first one, and that was also with Robert Duvall. He played a role in that. He was already in his 80s then, 10 years ago. It's pretty wild. It was, I think, one of his best roles ever. I mean, I didn't really care for Apocalypse Now. That was a creepy movie, but he was pretty good in that too.
He was good.
Oh, he was great in that. Yeah, love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, and he goes into this whole little thing. It smells like victory. That smell, that gasoline smell. Yeah,
actually, that was pretty good. That sounded like Duvall. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, and Arlie Ermy was in there as well. He was a helicopter pilot.
Who was it?
Arlie Ermy. Big dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. He was in that. Yep. Well, he's gone now too. Man, it's just all dropping like flies. The one that I'm look. I don't want to jinx anything, but the one I'm going to miss is when Clint Eastwood is gone.
Oh man, he's up there, but. What a fan. I mean, we loved his movies as an actor, but as a director, I think he's probably a better director than he was actor easily.
Well, I mean, he's such a diverse actor. I mean, Any Which Way But Loose, and in the spaghetti westerns, and then then he, as you said, directing Bridges of Madison County, which I didn't care for, but it was a great film. And then he just had. I liked him in the one where he played the Secret Service agent, the Over the Hill Secret Service agent.
In the Line of Fire, great. I love that.
And then the other one where he was a professional thief and he broke into the White House or something like that.
Watch the president kill somebody too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was Gene Hackman, who also died in his 90s recently. Yeah, jeez. Yeah, no, it's crazy. A lot of talented people. So, man, oh man. I mean, well, look at. I mean, John Travolta's 72 or 74 years old now. What the heck? I mean, even Tom Cruise is like 63. I mean, he's going to be on Social Security soon.
Yeah, he won't need it. He will not need it.
He doesn't need it. He'll collect it, but he doesn't need it. I mean, it is his money.
We're talking about a lot of great actors right there. Nowadays, to find a good actor, you're like, man, it's hard to find. Most of them are just activists, pretending to be actors.
Well, they all look alike. Chris Pine and the other guy, Chris Hemsworth. I can't tell them apart half the time.
Right.
I think
and everybody's brother and sister is also an actor.
Who's that? Who's also an actor?
No, you were. No, I was asking you. So
we're stepping on each other. I apologize. I was saying everybody's brother and mother's an actor. All these acting families and stuff like that. It's a little weird. You know what I mean? But I guess if you're in. You can get your siblings in, your kids in, or whatever. I don't know. It's a very, very big nepotistic, profession.
I got you, John. You were going.
Oh no, I was saying I think they do that nowadays. They find people who have similar faces and stuff like that because they're more easily marketable because people already have familiarity with them. I think they've been doing that for about 10, 15 years at least.
Okay, well, it makes a little sense, I suppose, but yeah, I can't think of the giants and titans of Hollywood like we used to have. It just doesn't seem to be like they're out there.
Right. Well, now you got streaming platforms, and you got so many networks, and it's how do you keep up with who's an actor or whatever, where they're acting at these days?
No, you're 100% right. It's not easy. And like you said, there's so many different platforms. And a lot of these actors are doing these, straight to, streaming sort of things.
Right.
And then you have to pay for these services. So you don't even see some of these great actors doing things. Like I've seen a few actors, I didn't know they did that. That was on Bravo, or it was on Paramount Plus, or it was on, I can't watch that. It's an HBO direct thing. Yeah. It's not like when you used to see them in the theater all the time or you saw them in television all the time. It's just not that simple anymore.
Right. Yeah. It used to be there was like, oh, you're a television actor or you're a movie star. It's one of the two. Rarely would they cross over. And if they did cross over, it was, very, very rare occasion.
Yep, indeed. The way you said that movie star, I was thinking the Professor and Marianne.
I love it. Great
movie
show.
Star.
and it's such a stupid premise, but still just a great entertaining show. It's like
it was
3 hours.
It was just fun. It's just fun.
I get Gilligan's Island on Tubi.
But think about it, Gilligan's Island. Gilligan's was a 3-hour tour, so which means you had to go out maybe like an hour and come back an hour. How did you get lost in all that time?
The storm kicked up, man.
Yeah,
they dragged them out to sea.
Okay, all right. Well, which island? It was
Don't you know the storm turned up and a tiny ship was tossed? If not for the courage of the skipper and his first mate, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost.
But you are right.
On the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too, the professor and Marianne, the movie star.
I loved it. Yeah.
Oh my
they
goodness.
had the reunion movies too. It was kind of funny, but whatever.
Yeah, I liked how they use coconuts to power everything. The green energy guys ought to go to the Pacific Islands, just harvest coconuts. They can power everything, according to Gilligan's Island. You can make radios out of them. You can make boats out of them.
And it's funny how they always had these guest stars show up, like the Globetrotters or something like that. It's like,
how did they wind up on the island?
How did they get
out of there?
Oh, it's so funny.
The golden age of sitcoms, I Dream of Jeannie.
The Brady Bunch. It's like, Mike, you designed the house with 6 kids, but only 2 rooms for them. I know it makes for a better scene to have everybody in one scene, in one room, but you're going to have 2 rooms for 6 kids? I don't think so. Come on.
Yeah.
Mike was loaded
I don't
too.
even recall that. Well, they had to have a room for the maid. Didn't she live there?
Yeah, she was downstairs, but and Mike had his office and they had the attic. Remember Greg moved into the attic at one point, right? Later on. Anyway.
I think somebody's watched more Brady Bunch than the rest of us.
No, come on. No.
I will admit to having watched
reruns.
I will admit to having watched Hogan's Heroes all the seasons at least a dozen times.
That's funny. Yeah, you got to learn how to escape from prison if you ever got caught, right? You got to understand
exactly.
how to build.
I know how to dig the tunnels now. I know how to use the coffee pot for a listening device and how to put a camera in Hitler's picture. I figured all that out. All my spycraft.
right, and how to dress up like Hitler and then pass off as if you're Hitler. Oh my
and how to be a black guy dressed up as a Nazi and make it work.
Make it work. Everybody's like, wait a minute. No, it worked. And he had a mustache too,
he was part of the Africa Corps.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a wild
it's a really good show. And what's funny about that show is that many of the protagonists, the villains, so-called villains, the buffoons that were in that were all Jews who escaped. So John Banner was Johann Banner from Austria. He was an Austrian Jew. He escaped. Werner Klemper, who played Colonel Klink, was a German Jew who escaped, a very talented actor. And then the guy who played Major Hofstetter, he was a Jew. General Burkhardt was a Jew. Leo Askew is his name, I think it was. Yeah, those guys all. So Werner Klemper agreed to do the part, but only if the commandant was a buffoon. He said he had to be a buffoon. And that's, but what I always got was, how did he manage to always keep that darn monocle in his eye? That
right.
What happened? The monocle never fell out. It's like they glued it there.
I
Yep.
think super glue came out back. Well, no, that'd been. I was gonna say about that same time period, but I think it was
that would
about-
hurt. That would hurt. Oh, God.
I know, and I know nothing. I see nothing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
John
Shells.
Banner. He actually fought in World War II, and he was also in the movie The Longest Day, I believe, with John Wayne.
Did he fight in the Second World War? I thought I was standing corrected, and I thought that he fled. I know that Kemper came over in the 30s.
Yeah, I
Banner
think
Kemper
Banner
came over.
fought in it. I believe he did. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people criticize the United States for not taking more Jews in during the Second World War, and it's a fair criticism. But they lose sight of the fact that in a short order, we took in 95,000 German Jews after Kristallnacht, after they attacked the Jews. It's
Right.
what a sad situation happened over there. But anyway, we digress from American politics and the brilliant John, the always amazing, talented. Everybody wants to date her. The geopolitical scientist of the world. We all know who we're talking about. Your girlfriend and mine, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's like, I'm not sure. That's kind of like, that's a violation of like, I don't know, the policy. Cause it's like, I don't know, like below the equator. Huh?
I think you've been hanging out with Harris for too long.
Above the equator. All of Central and part of South America is above the equator, my friend.
Apparently, so
You
I
know?
guess she doesn't know what the equator means.
Well, you got the map behind you there.
Equidistance, yeah. No. She said Venezuela is below.
Oh, I
She said
know.
below.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nope.
below the equator. No, but Venezuela is definitely up there. Anyway, yeah. No,
She
she's
did. You got it backwards. She said it was at the equator or something like that. I didn't get to see it, but yeah, it's below the equator.
she got it backwards. She got it backwards. The bottom line.
It's close. It's close, but it's definitely not. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think her was like Marsha, like a Valley girl, it's like totally just it's just so
Right.
pathetic. I mean, why anybody would invite that brainless twit to come over there? All she did was damage her chances being anything other than a useless member of the House of Representatives.
Even her own party was tearing her down.
No, I know. Even the CNN they were criticizing her.
Love it. What a buffoon. And that one eye slightly goes a different way. It's like, who are we like looking at here, AOC?
I'm
it kinda goes
sorry,
off.
as a registered Republican lusting after her, I'm not usually looking at her eye.
Oh, you can't miss it. It's like it just kind of shoots off. It's like, what are we looking at here, AOC?
Oh, apparently you can't miss it because I haven't seen it.
I haven't noticed that either. But now that you said it, what
when
do
he
you think?
said it, I'm going to be looking for it.
Yeah,
You should. She has crazy eyes. Yeah.
Oh, she's got crazy eyes, all right. Looks like somebody plugged her with a 10,000 volt jab. Woo! Like she's got jaundice and her eyes are going to pop out of her head.
Hey-o.
That's not the only thing she's crazy about. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That woman is.
I just
that
I
is
just-
funny you say that. I
I just
remember
said
grilling.
that. Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say I remember her grilling people. And she's sitting there. She's kind of small, so she's sitting there at the desk with a microphone in front of her. She looks like a little kid with a pencil in her hand, and she asks a question, but her eyes bug out like Adam Schiff.
Yeah, like, what's the answer? Yeah, Adam Shifterson. Yeah, he's a joke.
He's another one whose eyes bug out when he asks questions. Like he
Yeah.
feels conspicuous or something, and it shows that way.
Yeah, I was just on a meeting a few minutes ago of our department executive committee for the American Legion, and somebody didn't have their mic muted. It was a Zoom meeting, and their cuckoo clock went off at 6:00. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs." I just said that. It's kind of funny, but yeah, cuckoo clock went off in the middle of a meeting. I'm like, "Whose mic's not muted?" Like, annoyed me a little bit there.
That can be kind of irritating when you have those sorts of meetings, or somebody wants to have
Yeah.
a conference call on a cell phone, and you're fighting because one guy's really loud and one other guy's really low, and you got one guy blowing your eardrums out and the other guy you're straining to hear.
Right? Oh, for sure.
So yeah, them Zoom meetings or something else. So tax season is upon us, and apparently President Trump stated that tax refunds of this year are substantially larger due to the one big beautiful bill signed in July 2025. The early internal revenue service data shows the average tax refund as of February 6, 2026 is going to be $2,290, an increase of 11% compared to the same.
Hmm.
So you guys looking forward to that? Almost what, $2,500, $2,300?
Well, who knows?
We'll see after my tax return is done. I'm not
Yeah.
trusting anything till it's done.
No.
Well, there's a little motivation to get it done, right? I go, oh, hey, $2,300, I'll get this done.
Yeah.
Take a couple hours. I'll be making $1,200 an hour.
Well, that's pretty good math there.
Yeah. So No, that's I was looking at that earlier today. I was just flipping through some news and stuff like that. They came up. So you guys hear about these Democrats who are going to take, I guess next Tuesday, Trump's going to give his State of the Union address. And the Democrats said they're going to sit this one out. They're going to go out there on the National Mall and have their own State of the Union address. I forget what they call them.
Oh,
Quite a
okay.
few of them.
Okay.
And
What are you
they're
going to do?
have
Some
people
lawn
like
chairs? Well, come on.
what was their name? They're going to have people such as, let's see,
Yoko
lawmakers,
Ono,
including 5 senators and 7 House members, along with other soon-to-be-announced elected officials, leaders, and advocates, will gather at the National Mall near the Capitol for the People's State of the Union on the same night as Trump's speech to Congress, according to a Wednesday press release from the left-wing group Move On. Left-wing political commentators Joy Reid and Katie Fang will serve as host for the event, according to Move On press release.
Oh, God.
Some people are going to choose Joy Reid over President Trump. But you got to listen to some of this verbiage, right? I will not normalize Donald Trump's march towards fascism by attending the State of the Union address. We cannot pretend this is a business as usual. Democratic Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, who is skipping Trump's speech to attend the rally, said via the press release, "I look forward to joining real patriots who are standing up and speaking out against Trump's lawless agenda." This is called center of the lane strategy, right? Now they're going to start using the word patriots. Remember when they were I can almost think of the word. Using patriots as a slur towards.
Oh, right. You're denigrating. Denigrating is what you were going to say.
Denigrate. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They were using it like a slur towards people on the political right, people like Hillary Clinton calling us all patriots and deplorables and stuff like that. Now they want to use the word patriots to align with, middle of the road voters, try to pick up those votes for this coming election. So it's kind of funny how they start absorbing some right-wing policies, ideas, and verbiage.
Sad. Yeah. Hopefully people won't fall for it. I mean, the left has been anything but patriotic and loving of America. I mean, they don't mind burning the flag back here. I mean, and also burning Bibles, whatever it is. I mean, if you're having a church service, they're going to invade it at any time. Be very careful of these people. These are not patriots. These are not people who believe in the Constitution and believe that you have the right to do what you feel under the Constitution. They want to infringe on every right you have, for crying out loud. Let's not fall for this.
Face it, progressivism has turned into nothing but communism, and that's what they try to usher in.
Well, progressivism has always been about regression. That's what it's been about taking rights away by oppressing you with the state. That's what they're all about. That's what they care about. And I love how they twist and contort the Constitution, like the separation of church and state. No such statement in the Constitution. No such statement. Or
Congress will not, basically, in a nutshell, Congress will not create a religion. That's basically it.
Exactly. No state religion like the Anglican Church. Right. Yep. Or the Vatican. Yep. That's all it says. And from the very beginnings, this was a Judeo-Christian nation that was founded on those concepts, those beliefs, and they're giving our nation away, and we're told to accept it. People who are coming here refuse to assimilate in this country and bring their broken values from other countries, from other ethnicities, other faiths, bring it here and then colonize our country while these treasonous turd balls undermine our country. And we're supposed to sit back and take it. Well, it's a new day is dawn. Did you guys catch Marco Rubio's speech in Munich? That was one of the best speeches in the last 20 years, to say the least, if not longer.
No, I didn't watch it, but I heard a lot of good things. And I saw that he was wearing a purple tie, basically signifying, I guess unity
royalty.
Or whatever.
Royalty, also means royalty. It's a royal color.
It used to back in the day. Yeah. Because the snails they used to get the dye from was so, anyway, so rare.
Indigo. Yep. No, so he gave a speech, John, that was just amazing. He talked about, we want to, guard our Western culture. We share a common Western culture, Christianity and Western culture. And we want to do it with our friends here in Europe. But we'll do it alone if we have to. I was like, dang, way to go, Rubio.
That's in this administration standpoint, right? It's kind of like you guys are going to step up with us. You're going to start picking it up in NATO. It's kind of like the ambassador was talking about here at this summit or forum, whatever it was there with the, I can't think of what it was. Now I'm starting to sound like Cortez.
You got a tongue twister there. Huh?
Yeah, I got myself stuck. But anyway, the ambassador was sitting in on that. He was saying that about Article 3 our treaty with in the NATO treaty there that countries have to take care of their own defense first.
Right.
And so
Right.
now we've gotten them to step up. Now they're starting to take some initiative there in Europe. A lot of people want to keep putting Trump down for what he's doing, but truth of the matter is he's been doing really well to get countries to step up and to get things back into alignment.
Well, it's
Right.
about time. It's only been 3/4 of a century since we defeated the Nazis. It's about time the Europeans started defending themselves.
Finally, yeah. I was watching a YouTube video yesterday, just scrolling through, and it was a former UK ambassador talking about Trump and the way he works and how he observed him behind the scenes and stuff. And he's like, if you just made your opinion based on what you see on the news or what you see on clips, you would have a different opinion of President Trump than what you would have if you saw him behind the scenes and how he actually works. He's like, what you see, in the news or whatever isn't the full picture. It's a very narrow sliver. And the real picture is he truly cares, is strong on defense, and wants the allies to step up truly, so that way we can have an actually safer world. And he's like basically singing the guy's praises. And he's like, I don't agree with the way he does things and what he says and how he talks or whatever, but he's effective in the way he's doing it. And that's kind of the message there.
He's got great strategies.
Sure.
Yeah, he just
this is kind of like this
bad impulse control, but other than that, yeah,
that's true. That's true. And we all do that sometimes, but I think he does that more regular.
But it keeps him. See, that's also media manipulation too. He does this stuff, and he knows because he's Donald Trump, everybody's paying attention. And as soon as he does these impulsive things, it's going into the news. All the attention's on him again, which allows him to maintain control.
Right. If you're focused on the bad stuff, all of a sudden he can step up and say something that's pretty doggone good, and you're like, oh, where's all this negative stuff coming from? That sounds reasonable. So if you're paying attention to him, you're going to get the good and the bad. I guess that's a good strategy. Keep the media focused on you at all times, right?
It is, for him, it is, especially
for him, right? Yeah,
He likes the attention. He really does.
For sure.
And so he likes to play off the media a lot, and that's his mode of operation regarding that matter. But no, I mean, you guys saw this thing with Bondi just did. Hand them all the Epstein files with the access codes, and then tracked everything they were looking at and researching.
No, I didn't see that.
Tell me more.
You
John.
didn't see that?
Tell me more. John.
Oh my God, it's been all over social media. No, she
Tell me more.
so she when they gave the Congress the unclassified or declassified documents of Epstein, they gave them a passcode because of course it's on DOJ servers. So they give them passcodes to get on there. And when they log in with their passcode, they know who logged in or what office. And they know everything they searched for, everything they looked up. So when she was in that hearing, she pulled that out. And now they were ticked off because she was tracking them and spying on them, as they said.
No, that's not spying. That's cybersecurity. I mean, whenever I worked at different agencies in the DOD, if I log onto a computer, your administrator can see that, rightly so. That way they can see. That way, if you're looking at other things you shouldn't be looking at, whatever, they can call you into question, and that's the right thing to do. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I have no problem with it at all either.
And I dare say they probably had a little, hey, warning or whatever, a little, note, you're about to read XYZ, you're being monitored, whatever. I bet there was a little note in there at the bottom that they didn't read.
They might have had a disclosure.
You give consent to be, whenever you're on there, you're giving consent to be monitored, right? I mean, most websites are that way, especially government websites.
Terms of service agreements often say just that, by using our services, you give consent to our TOS. And
no right to privacy on a publicly owned government server. Honestly, you don't, right, Colonel?
Nope, you have no right to privacy. You should have no expectation of privacy. In fact, when you go to government websites, it warns you. You have no expectation of privacy. You consent to search and seizure. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's all. That's part of the counterintelligence world. That's how to protect ourselves, to make sure that the government, we have to protect. I'm not in the government anymore. But we have to protect ourselves by telling people if they want to access the site, then they're subject. They're surrendering that right. It's like walking down the street and complaining about somebody taking pictures of you. You have no expectation of privacy. You're in public. Now, in your home, someone sticking a camera, a telescopic lens. Yeah, that's an invasion of privacy. You're entitled to your privacy inside your vehicle, inside your home. Those are places, but not when you're in public. And there's a distinction with the vehicle. I mean, what you're doing in the car, as long as it's legal. But if it's not legal, if you're having sex in the back seat, you're not allowed to do that. Or you're smoking weed. Then that's different. But if you're in your car, you're minding your business, you either parked legally or you're in traffic and obeying traffic laws, you do have an expectation of privacy below that window for sure. Yep.
Right. So, Colonel, you want to take this question over here? Holden says, So now Berlin is talking about enriching weapons-grade uranium. Germany shut down their nuclear power plants due to unhinged leftist pressure. How in the world would they convince their public to let them make bombs? You hear anything about that, Colonel? Proliferating anything?
Well, the German defense minister is talking about arming Ukraine and talking about giving them supersonic missiles, and also, equipping them. Look, the German defense industry is one of the few things that's making money in the German economy right now, and that's what's fueling this sort of thing. And no one ever questions that. None of the analysts ever say, "Well, gee, I wonder why the French and the Brits and the Germans, and the Danes are so devoted to Ukraine." Well, it's because they're making a ton of money off their defense industry, and which, by the way, they've cleaned out their stock of old crappy equipment that's 30, 40, and 50 years old. They're replacing with new equipment, and then still selling stuff on top and make a fortune. The Germans shut down their nuclear power industry a couple of years ago in response to the Fukushima disaster, where the Japanese built a nuclear power plant along a fault line on the Ring of Fire. Now, there's a breaking plan.
That's not a good idea.
From an engineering standpoint, look, hey, where can we build this plant where it'd be in the greatest danger? How about right here next to the seashore on the Ring of Fire? The Ring of Fire, going down, down, down. Yeah, so they built a nuclear power plant on the Ring of Fire, and actually the plant held up even in the tsunami. It withstood everything, but they didn't shut it down properly because the cowards ran away. They scurried away hours before the tsunami hit, and they didn't shut the plant down properly, and we had a leak of nuclear material. So the German response to that, under the corrupt, German-hating former communist Angela Merkel, was, nuclear power, bad, shut down our power plants, which provided like 40 or 45% of Germany's electricity. Now Germany has the highest electricity rates in the world. People pay more for electricity than anywhere else. They try to rely on these solar panels, which dot all over the historic medieval towns and make them they can make them eyesores, no longer an attraction to go to for tourists. And on top of that, they put these windmills up that just, interfere with aviation, and they kill millions of birds or hundreds of thousands of birds in Germany every single year. And they're inconsistent. And in the meantime, they're over-reliant on Russian natural gas. Yet they're fueling the war in Ukraine. These people are psychotic. They really need a serious check, the mentality check. And what do? They go after the Alternative for Germany, claiming it's a terrorist organization. It's a political party. If anybody's a terrorist, it's the leaders of Germany and the chancellor and the idiots that run around and talk about evil things about the United States. But yeah, no, they're talking about doing this. It's just, I said this for decades, and I'll say it here tonight. If it hadn't been for us with 270,000 Army troops in West Germany and 100,000 Air Force troops in West Germany, 1 million Americans with a DoD ID card, the Germans and the Europeans would have started a war. If we hadn't spent 60 years there keeping them from fighting each other, they would have started a war. And look at it. When we start the drawdown, what happens? Yugoslavia falls apart. Europeans say, we got this. And they sit back and watch thousands of people slaughtered and ethnic cleansing taking place in Srebrenica and all over. It's the Europeans are useless, absolutely useless. They couldn't defend themselves as they needed to. They need us. And now they act like they want to do something about defense. It's long overdue. The Germans were spending less than 1% of GDP on defense for years, while Trump was demanding that people pay either 2% that they'd all agreed to decades ago. Well, 15 years ago. And then Trump was the bad guy. We're going to leave NATO. We're not going to leave NATO. We're just expecting you to carry your share of the load. And now they're finally doing it. But now they're going beyond that. Now they're talking about, let's step it up even higher. It's interesting to see the Germans actually do this. But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. I mean, Starmer's also calling for a greater defense. Isn't it ironic to see leftists in the UK arguing for stronger defense? This is a military that almost doesn't exist. We could get a couple Boy Scout troops together and have more troops on the ground than what's left in the British military. Seriously, they're down like 50,000 less total, something like that. It's ridiculous. Wow, their Navy's a joke. It used to rule the 7 seas. It can't rule. It can't rule the English Channel today. It's really sad to see. We're looking at China with ability that's well past what the Brits have in capability. They have no ability to forward project their forces. And this is a military that participated in the Gulf War, that sent troops to Sierra Leone at the end of the war, that was throughout the 40s, 50s, and 60s, sent troops all over the world, in the Arabian Peninsula, in what is today Yemen, the Aden crisis. They've had troops everywhere. They had them in the Troubles in Northern Ireland. They can't deploy anybody. They need us to go anywhere. It's really sad to see.
Isn't that what happened, Chris? Is these countries became dependent on the U.S. for defense? It just figured they can keep relying on us, so they focused in on economics and things like that and enriching themselves.
That's true to a degree, but not entirely true. So, for instance, the Brits still had a credible defense force up until the end of the Gulf War. I mean, they were able to deploy troops in the Gulf. Remember, they went to the Falklands. That's one of the most challenging deployments you're ever going to have. From my map behind me, all the way up here in the Northern Hemisphere, all the way down here to almost Antarctica. in an isolated chain of islands and taking, the Hawk Harrier, the Harriers out there, the Harriers, the VSTOL takeoff jets, and then deploying basically their Rangers out there, SAS out there, and helicopters. And they had their share of disasters. The Sheffield was sunk by but they also sunk the General Bergano. But the point is that was an incredible operation. They self-deployed, and I remember that vividly. I was still in high school when that happened. But the Brits had that ability. But what happened is that after the Gulf War, they bought in this peace dividend nonsense, like many of the United States did. And Francis Fukuyama's point, which people didn't understand, saying the end of history. He didn't mean time was over. He meant that the history we've known it in this competition is over and it's a new era. Well, it's a new era of sorts. But yeah, I think that the others you can talk about. The Germans have lived under our skirts for decades. But the irony is that the Germans, up until the end of the Cold War, actually had a big force. The West Germans had 475,000 troops. The East Germans had 290,000 troops or something like that.
Yeah.
It was insane. So we're talking, almost 750,000 people in uniform between the two Germanys. And now they just have a couple 100,000 troops. So they after the war, they relied on us. Now, they did rely on us before that, but that's because there were millions of Soviets and East Bloc nations poised to come across the border. But when that threat went away, they overdid it. And not only did it reduce the size of militaries, but they precipitously dropped their spending on defense quite a bit. And the shame is that a lot of the German defense spending during the Cold War was actually spent for our installations. The Germans paid for a lot of and we had hundreds of installations in West Germany. And we withdrew from many of those installations and they shut them down. So they should have had a peace dividend there and still continue to spend money on a proper size military. But they reduced it from 475,000 to 400,000 to 360,000 and down to the point eventually where there's only 200-some thousand troops in Germany. And it's just kind of a joke. It's kind of sad. So I think it's a combination of two things, relying on us and also this so-called peace dividend, which was nonsense.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. John?
Yeah, no, that is interesting. So did you guys catch any of the Mark Zuckerberg is going to testify? You guys caught up on that at all, or because I can't elaborate on much.
Mark Zuckerberg. No, I know he's moving to Florida and like one of those very rich or billionaire communities over there. So I think they have a private
where
police
Jeff
force
Bezos lives.
Yeah, I think they have a private police force and everything over there. They keep everybody away. They keep everybody away.
Apparently somebody's griping that she was addicted to social media or something, and it's Zuckerberg's fault. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you get addicted to social? I mean, isn't that if I'm somebody's going to sue, say Meta because they got addicted to social media, wouldn't that be like me trying to sue Philip Morris because I got addicted to cigarettes?
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day,
that worked.
That's what people did. Yeah.
And it worked. Yeah. They got a fortune. They got billions because the cigarette companies found it cheaper to just give them the billions. And they got them off their back. It actually worked. So
wow. So wait, do I still have a chance to get money? I mean, no, I wouldn't.
Another thing the cigarette manufacturers did, they agreed to stop doing advertising on like TV, radio, and then on NASCAR and other things like that.
I thought there was something passed during the Clinton years. They couldn't do that. They couldn't advertise so much within school zones.
Right. But
there's lots
beer,
of things,
alcohol, no problem.
But the cigarette companies realized that the smart money was to let the Chinese smoke themselves to death. So the smart ones are selling their tobacco in China now, making a fortune, and still making tons of money in America. It's just hilarious.
If you were to fight down the road,
Chinese love their cigarettes, man. Oh, they do.
Oh, I know. If you were to fight down the road, though, I'm just kidding, but seriously.
Yeah. Well, according to what we've been hearing, the working Chinese are retiring age, and they don't have replacements. They're going to be in trouble in the future. So we were sitting there feeling threatened by Chinese as far as economics go, and they were collapsing anyway, unless they build a ton of robotics.
Yeah, so Light Rain here, REIGN says, Starmer, ? Defense of what, ? So ironic that a country would build up military power while paying invaders to flood in. Make that make sense. I don't think we can.
No, you can't. But you can't make sense of anything that the Labour Party does in the United Kingdom. They're just so psychotic. They take a few steps to actually save the country, and then the courts overrule them. Basically, it's what's happening there. That's a country that's been colonized and surrendered by white Anglo-Saxons who gave their country away to other people.
And how ironic!
Yeah, but they're fighting back now. We're seeing a lot of headway that way.
But it's ironic. It was a kingdom that basically the sun didn't set on it. You know, the empire. It ruled the world, ruled the high seas for centuries, and now look at them, reduced to just sniveling, nothingness. It's being colonized themselves. It's kind of ironic in a way. I don't want to call it poetic justice
Oh.
or anything like that, because it's not, but it is in a way. You know what I mean? They weren't the
Dur-
best
dur-
of
during the
colonizers.
during the 19th century, they were they had
They weren't
control.
the
Let's see,
best.
they had a 100-year lease with Hong Kong. They had so much going on, control over India and different parts of the globe, Africa, South Africa.
Yeah.
They colonized that.
I remember watching them on the news walking out of Hong Kong, playing like Old Lang Syne or something like that, and then marching out. It was wild, man. That was
When
sad.
the lease was up, what was that,
Chris
89 or 90?
No, it
or-
wasn't a lease. They owned it. They owned it outright, and they gave it back to the Chinese communists. One of the dumbest geopolitical moves I've ever seen.
Big
Chris
time.
Patton was the final British governor of Hong Kong, and now it's just a captured, politically neutered. They just put what's his name? Is it Jimmy Chang? What's his name? The media guy just put him in prison, a 75-year-old for a 20-year prison sentence because
sad.
he stands up for democracy. It's unbelievable. Yep. No, the Chinese communists are evil, 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 and the fact that anybody thinks they're worth talking to or dealing with is crazy. They really need to check their attitude. They are dangerous people.
Right.
They're ruthless.
Right. Yep, you're right. John's looking around to see if there's any news out there. Go ahead, John.
No, I was checking my,
sorry. I think I cut the kernel off. Sorry.
No, that's all right. It was. I can see a screen now. You got the audio levels coming across. It's almost like watching Audible when you record audio. Yeah, no, but so guys, the Olympics. Are you keeping track on that, John? Let me jump in on your airspace here with the Olympics. I love talking about the Olympics. You guys watching that at all, Todd?
No, I keep up with the medal count. That's about it. I do check hockey, like on the hockey, and also women's hockey. That's interesting to me because
gold medal game tomorrow.
We've got a good hockky team, and I truly appreciate that. That's for sure.
The gold medal game for the women is tomorrow.
That's right. I'll probably be watching that game.
Well, that is it'll be U.S. versus Canada. We stomped Canada earlier. We'll see if we can pull it off again. I think it's Canada
so.
that they're playing.
I hope so.
Yeah, but that's the clash. That's always the women cannot fail. We've had so many Olympic athletes that have choked. We had the skaters who've choked. We've had skiers who choked. But today, Michaela Schifrin, she gets it right. She had medaled since 2018. She missed out in Beijing. She was a favorite in all these events and crashed out in all of them, didn't qualify, didn't finish in many of them. But this time she won the gold medal. So she's got 4 Olympic medals now, the first ever U.S. Alpine skier to have 3 gold medals. That's incredible, given all the amazing skiers we had over the year, Peekaboo Street, and all these other Phil Mayer, all these amazing downhill and alpine skiers, and we've never had one that had 3 gold medals. I heard that today. I was shocked to hear that. But she's won like 109 competitions over the years. She's at 71 of them in the event she won today, which is her best event. But we get a gold. So the U.S. is holding its own in the Olympics. We're just behind Italy, the host. Of course, the Norwegians are running away with this. I mean, those guys, they do so well in the cross country skiing and all these other events, the jumping and stuff. So they are running away with it. They're over 30 medals now. The Italians are 2 medals ahead of us and a couple of golds, but the U.S. is right on their heels. Got 3 more medals today, 2 in one event, and then of course Schifrin got hers. We're guaranteed of a medal tomorrow, gold or silver in the women's hockey. Hopefully it's a gold medal. That'd be good to see.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple more. The U.S. men, it looked really tight there in the game today. I wasn't sure that the Swedes played very determined the last 20 minutes of the game, that last period. And the last 5 minutes, they just was amazing. They just turned it up. They pulled their goalie and they scored that goal. Connor Hellebuck was just caught off guard. I mean, he had both. You know, it's really sad to see the Swedes were crushed. But the thing is that's the heartbreak of a sport like hockey. You know, you can play your heart out, and then it's just one tough bounce of the puck. You go off the post and ring in, and it's over.
Right.
The Markham, the goalie for Sweden, was incredible. He made 38 stops, but unfortunately 2 got through and they lose the game. Tough break for them because it's a quarterfinal. If this had been a semifinal, at least they could play for the bronze, but now they're done. And so the U.S. goes forward playing Slovakia. Canada plays Finland, and I'm pulling for Finland to win. Then we could replicate 1980 and defeat the Finns in the gold medal game.
That's true. Yeah.
People think we defeated the Soviets. It wasn't the gold medal game.
That was the game before that. Yeah. The Miracle on Ice was just before that. You're right.
Yeah, and people forget that we had to beat the Finns to win the gold medal. And it was improbable because we've won 2 gold medals in hockey. Both were in the United States. 1960 and was like 60 Lake Placid or Squaw Valley. I'm trying to remember. I think it was I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but
Squaw Valley. But 1980 was Lake Placid. I think it might have been the second time. But anyway, we won in 60 with the American men, and we won in 1980 with the American men. We have never won a gold medal since then. We won silver, but we've never won a gold. So it's pretty exciting because there's a player on the team whose father played a 1980 team, and whose grandfather played and uncle played in the 1960 team. So if he could win it, wouldn't that be so cool?
That's a story. That's big.
That would be a
right
great
there.
story.
I
Amazing.
love that. It's a feel good story, and I think we need it out of this Olympics. Because you had a lot of those people out there protesting ice and all this stuff early on. I don't know if that's died down. Probably not, but I saw a few of the woke figure skaters. Like she was a quote unquote woke.
Amber Glenn.
Yeah,
Amber
finished
Glenn.
like 14th or 15th.
Yeah, she choked big time. Ooh. Well, she also banned her social media because she got a massive backlash for being such a turd towards Americans instead of keeping them. I get it. What are these people talking about? She's like, oh, the evil things that the Trump administration has done against the LGBTQ community. What have they done? There's not a single thing that Trump has ever done against the gay community since he became president. What has he done? Nothing. But they just want to, people like this activists, not gay people, but people like this who are activists just want to pretend they're victims all the time.
In both of his administrations, openly gay men and women have served in his cabinet. I'm sorry. He's not against gay people. I'm sorry.
No, and he hasn't done anything to harm gay people. There's just people want to run this narrative.
Not at all.
I mean, I know gay conservatives and they love Trump. They would ride to the ends of the earth with Trump.
Well, talking with the log cabin Republicans at CPAC, they're like, yeah, there's no problem with him whatsoever. The left is who we have a problem with because they talk down to gay people and think, oh, this is the only party you belong in. It's like, there's more to us than actually just being gay. It's like, he's like, just like you and I, like there's more to us than just being straight. There's a lot of stuff to a human being. You know what I'm saying? That's one aspect. And that shouldn't be your identity.
That's true. I'm also devastatingly handsome. Let's not forget that.
All right, here we
go. In Africa, I'm known as devastating handsome.
Those are the opinions of Colonel Chris Wyatt, by the way.
All comments can be directed to care of WSMN to Todd McKinley.
Yeah, right. don't email me at WSMN. They might get mad.
Yeah, somebody said that they can sue me because I have a YouTube addiction. I don't have a YouTube addiction.
They say they got a YouTube addiction because
they can sue me because what? Well, maybe because some of them do, but I mean, I'm on a quest to find viewers right now. YouTube is something going on. It's something going on. So many content creators are seeing a massive drop off in their viewership. But I don't know if you guys saw it, but yesterday and into today, Alphabet, but not exclusively them. So it affected Gmail and YouTube, but also other platforms had a massive global outage. Sites weren't working or they're working part way. It was very, very chaotic, confusing. A lot of people were having a hard time with the internet around the globe. I don't know if someone took out a node somewhere or there was denial of service attacks, but something weird was happening.
I didn't notice with Google,
I noticed
Alphabet, but I noticed X was down for a while.
Yeah, no, that was all part of it. Yep. Crazy stuff.
Okay, so that's what that was. I was wondering. I was like, I'm not seeing anything. No updates, nothing new, and so that explains it. Okay, now I know.
Yeah, no one has explained what happened yet. We probably got a node somewhere that was taken down or went out or and delayed, or there was congestion somewhere. It doesn't take a whole lot to knock the whole. That's what's so scary about the internet. It's so vulnerable.
Somebody did a reply all, maybe. Somebody did a reply all.
Yeah. Someone pushed F6 and the whole internet got wonky. No, it's crazy how easily it is to disrupt that stuff. I used to work in a national security agency, so this is something I dealt with.
Well, it seems to me the internet, they got this dead internet theory. I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but it has a lot to do with AI and the use of AI on the internet with the bots and stuff like that. Pretty much just taking it over. But it seems to me when you look things up, it's not like when you look things up 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, when you could find a lot of data or information at your fingertips. And now when you go to Google and you Google something, it keeps taking you back to modern news that's just happening here last few days.
Well, I mean, in my day, you walked to the bookshelf and you pulled a copy of the Encyclopedia Britannica off the shelf and you look things up or miss encyclopedias. They were awesome.
Right,
one of the viewers just said that the reason for the outages is that Alphabet's cleaning out all their Epstein files.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Gideon also says if bribery was an Olympic event, South Africa would have a gold medal.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny today because I was meeting with a friend of mine at the airport here in Harrisburg. And he was looking at the snow and he said, thank God the ANC doesn't have to deal with snow. I said, yeah, because people would die. They wouldn't be able to plow the roads. They'd be trapped for weeks on end. They'd all starve to death. They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, what is this cold stuff? Oh!
Well, but not just a question of that. I mean, how would you do it? I mean, we can only give the tender to a black-owned company. So if you don't have a black-owned company, can't do the job, you give them the contract. Oh, they have no snow plows. Oh, well, they got the money.
They still got this contract though. You got two guys with shovels, like, hey, we got our driveway cleared off. Well, good job. Now get the highways cleared off.
Exactly. Crazy stuff. Anyway, maybe it's sunspots. Let's blame it on sunspots. But something definitely was up with the poo tube last night, and with X. Yep. So
I used to love like the combat arms kernels and stuff. The S6 or the G6 would give like your so you got sunspots, this and that. This could affect outages, and they're like, quit blaming the comms on the sun. You guys, it's like, you guys do your job. You can get. He's like, sir, sunspots are real, and he actually had a whole diagram of how it affects the Earth and everything like that. He's like, and the colonel, he's just kidding, but he goes, I think you're making all this up. S6, sit down. But anyway, I think that's funny. You got to give the S6 a hard time, no matter what. I think. John.
Yeah, no, I don't know what an F6 is, but
the S6. The S6 is
the G6 or something.
Yeah, so that's your communications OIC, or so in a brigade or battalion element. Sorry, and higher.
That's S stands for staff. G stands for general staff.
Correct,
so if you have a general officer like the commander of a division, then they have a G staff, a G1, G2, G3, 4. Those are staff positions. G2 is intelligence. 3 is operations. If you have a field grade officer, which would be a colonel, lieutenant colonel, and a battalion or brigade command, then you have a staff section. And then you have S1, S2, S3. Not to be confused with the F6. F6 and S6 are different. F6 is the old way we would classify information. So you had 2 things: the reliability and the accuracy of information. F6 is the worst. Yeah, A1 is the best. F6 is the worst. So that's an old thing. I don't think people even realize we just classify information that way. But some old schoolers know that F6 means delete, shred. It's useless. Anything it's F6. So now there's also F6 on your keyboard. It does different functions depending on your operating system.
Right. About 2. Well, this hour's flown by. We got like a minute left, right? Wow.
We just got a matter of seconds left, and we'll be playing some music out for the top of the hour break. We always got to take that because people do want to hear their news, and we won't make a show if we don't have the
that's exactly where I was going. It's not a common sense service unless we come back in with monuments of distinction. Gates and monuments.
There it is.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, music's going to lead us out for the top of the hour break. Don't go anywhere because we're going to come right back and get to it some more.
WSMN 1590, WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at wsmn.live.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Investigators are hoping Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker will provide clues in the ongoing search for the 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie in southern Arizona.
The pacemaker company from day one, we've been involved with, touched, and they've been very cooperative with us. And today, as we speak, we're still working with that.
The pacemaker disconnected from its monitoring app the morning she went missing, so authorities are using a signal sniffer to try and locate it. The reward for information leading to her whereabouts now totals $200,000. President Trump honored Black History Month during a White House reception, recognizing Black members of his administration, including HUD Secretary Scott Turner.
Black History Month is really all about American history.
He issued a February 13th proclamation marking the month and paid tribute to civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died on Tuesday at age 84. Peru's Congress has removed interim President Jose Jerry just 4 months into office, voting 75-24 to oust him amid corruption and undisclosed meetings with businessmen as the country heads toward an April 12th general election. Lawmakers will elect an interim successor to lead until the newly elected president takes over in July. American Mac Forehand won silver in the men's free ski big air final at the 2026 Winter Olympics, earning his first Olympic medal.
Doesn't feel real still. It probably won't feel real for the next week, so I'm celebrating, I guess.
Fellow Americans Troy Podmelsak and Connor Ralph finished 4th and 5th. Norway's Tormod Frostad took gold. Austria's Matej Fansert earned bronze. Wall Street closed with stocks higher.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 129 points. The S&P 500 was up 38 points, and the Nasdaq soared 175. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network USA Radio News.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven. You can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Tired of wondering where your money really goes? At Mammoth Nation, we built what was missing. The America First Marketplace. Every brand we feature is 100% American owned and operated, rigorously vetted for their values and committed to supporting our Constitution, law enforcement, and the American dream. When you shop with us, your dollar stays in the neighborhood, supporting families, veterans, and charities like Folds of Honor. No more sending your hard-earned money overseas to the companies that don't respect you here. Your dollar reflects your values. Your dollar, your values. Your America. Join Mammoth Nation today and be part of building a patriot economy by going to TruckersUnitedForFreedom.com affiliate page and hit that link. American built, America strong. Mammoth Nation.
Hi, Nashua. I'm Perry Cataldo from Choice Benefit Services, your local insurance agent that has dedicated himself to all the Medicare plans in New Hampshire. Whether you're just turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I'll explain all your Medicare options and extra benefits that you hear so much about. I ensure you're getting all you're entitled to and all that you deserve. Nashua, don't get fooled again this year. Call Perry Cataldo at 603-461-5550. That's 603-461-5550. Or visit me online at cbsnh.com. That's cbsnh.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, health is wealth.
Continuing the legacy started in 1904, Roger Pellerin of Gate City Monument Incorporated continues to provide the same high-quality monument, custom headstone, and stoneworking craftsmanship today that they built their reputation on over 100 years ago, servicing Nashua, New Hampshire, as well as nearby areas in Massachusetts, such as Lowell, Billerica, Chelmsford, and beyond. From creating custom monuments to memorialize, to landscaping and granite work or restorative services, each job is done to your satisfaction and is backed by decades of experience and integrity. If you're thinking about stonework, think Roger Pellerin of Gate City Monument. Visit online at gatecitymonument.com. Stop by and meet Roger at 321 West Hollis Street in Nashua, or call 603-883-7141. That's 603-883-7141. Gate City Monument. Memorials of distinction for people who care.
The views.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning in, you're listening to Common Sense Conservatives right here, WSMN 1590 on your AM dial, 95.3 on your FM dial, and you can catch it at wsmn.live. So, guys, at the beginning of the hour, or the first hour, we were talking about this group of Democrats that decide they're going to go to the National Mall and hang out for the State of the Union address and have something of their own. And I'm pretty sure you can figure out where they're at By the way, Todd, you're muted in case you needed to know.
No, I know.
But
Yeah.
you could figure out where they're at, because Joy Reid will probably be blathering on there, and so she should be able to identify them. I'm wondering, what would it take to get some conservatives to go out there, since they become easy targets standing out in the open, to talk to them about conservative principles?
And by targets, he means to ask them questions and
Yes.
things like that, not shoot at them. I want to be very clear on that. Very clear
that
on that.
word. Some people are simpletons, I guess. They would
Take it
assume
out of
that
context
that meant
and use it against
bullseye.
you.
Holy crap!
Conservative talk
That's
show host John Grosvenor calls for violence on the mall. I can see it now.
actually it's getting kind of concerning with all these people. Somebody was pointing out with transgenderism and stuff, and all these shootings that have been happening throughout last year and this year. We just had that one in Paducah, Kentucky. So that's kind of I don't know. I was reading up on some of that, and I was seeing where there are. They say it's not mental illness to be transgender. However, folks that are transgender tend to suffer from mental illnesses.
Right.
Things like anxiety,
recently,
depression.
it was classified as a mental illness by the
Right.
American Medical Psychiatric Association. All these guys classified as such. Just recent that stopped being the case. So take it for what you want, And
that's because of politics, not because of any real medical or any science behind it. It's just all politics, reclassifying it. It's sad. And now you've got a bunch of people in America who now suffer because this isn't a mental illness. So now how do I get the care? How do I get, things taken care of through insurance or whatever the case may be? Now it's harder for people.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, so they were talking about they suffer from a lot of depression, anxiety, and a lot of things. Of course, they put it under social pressures and things like that because people just don't accept them. And I don't really take that for a proper answer.
No.
I don't like it when they do that, because that's just nothing more but manipulation on people like you and I. We're not required to accept people for their status. If you are transgender, that's your business, and I'm fine with it. I have no issue with it. But just the same, I don't have to go out of my way for it as anybody else for any other reason. I don't have to tiptoe around people, nor should I have to. I have a life to live too, as do you and Chris and the listeners out there.
Right, absolutely. You got it. And we take everybody, as an individual. I think everybody's individual, at least. If you're a good person, decent to me, I really don't care what other issues you got going on or whether you're transgender, whatever your skin color. Everybody should be taken as an individual, on the whole. But I don't want to subscribe to your nonsensical politics, and I also don't want to say that a male pretending to be a female is a female. I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to be rude to somebody on an individual basis if they're being kind, cordial to me, and or in a professional setting, being professional. I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to sit there and just jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh, everybody, let's just go ahead and accept this thing that's not true. No, thank you.
Well, yeah, to your point, if somebody walks up to you, if a grown man walks up to you in a dress and high heels and says, "Excuse me, do you have the time?" It's like, yeah,
Sure.
It's 8:09. Have a good evening. That's the end of it, right? You're gonna treat him like a decent human being. If a guy walks up to you and says, "Hey, would you like to go have a cup of coffee with me?" It's like, I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot in common to talk about. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna decline.
Right. You got that right, for sure.
People, like so many things, just get carried away with things. In California, passing a law criminalizing healthcare workers for misgendering a person. It's ridiculous. How are you supposed to know what people think they are? It's ridiculous. You're wearing a dress, you come up to me, but you got a beard on. Come on, that's not how life works. Not how life works. So basically, my approach would be that, sorry, I'm not available. You're gonna have to talk to another provider.
Right. Or you slide the little thing over in front, going, out for lunch, be back in 20 minutes, and just sit there and eat a sandwich in front of them. I ate at my desk. Sorry, it's my lunch break.
That's kind of messed up. But I get it.
I know. Eat right in front of everybody, make them wait.
Joking around here. Well, no, it's just, I don't know. It's not prerequisite to tell people if you're, have certain statuses and stuff, just act like a normal human being. That's what we do in society. We have a foundation in which we work on. We have a language in which we work on. We use the language. It's foundational. We can all communicate that way. But if you guys want to keep changing the definitions of words and the meanings of words and swap things around all the time, we don't know where we stand anymore. I don't know what people mean when they say trans woman. I don't have a clue what that means.
Well, and the thing is that this nonsense does not work in German. You can't change der, die, and das and mess it up, because they change with the cases. The nominative, the accusative, the dative, the genitive cases, the words all change. Der becomes die, becomes dame, becomes deren, the dace, and dame. You can't do that. And Germans understand what's going on based on the case. Whereas in English, we don't change the articles. But, you can't, this like nonsense. I'm reading an article, they. Who's they? There's one lady there. She's not they. That's not plural. That's brain dead, and it's self-indulgent. And when we indulge this lunacy, we undermine our own language and make it impossible to communicate. I can't even read this garbage. These authors write this. And anytime I see somebody with she, her, and stop, just stop. I don't need you to share your political views with me. Just put your darn name in your email and move along. I don't need this nonsense. Yes, I know that Chris is androgynous. It could be a boy or a girl, but usually a K, except for Chris Christopherson, another few handful of people, actually is a girl and C is a boy normally. Anyway, but I mean, stop. I mean, come on, Tracy spelled, differently for girls and boys. Sean. Now that's confusing because some girls actually named Sean. It's strange, but anyway,
some of these names.
I know no men named Siobhan.
No. Right. Yeah.
What was that? What was that song? A Boy Named Sue?
Oh yeah. Boy Named Sue. Yeah. Right. Good. Yeah. That was a good song. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Man in Black. Johnny Cash. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't want to begrudge anybody anything. It's a free country, and I believe in freedoms. And if people feel the need to dress accordingly, then be my guest.
Yeah, I've misgendered people who look like a male and who identify as a female, but I've had people rationally say, I understand that you made a mistake, and but just so you know, and I was like, cool, no problem, but don't try to force me to say something, that I don't want to. And the person was like, hey, I'm not going to force you to say whatever. He's like, but I'm just letting you know. And I said, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. And we moved on. Yep.
Fulfilling political agendas. That's what it's all about, guys. It's just about political agenda. It's not about reality. It's not even about people actually being the things that we're talking about. Some people generally have gender dysphoria, but the number is incredibly small, but not if you listen to the news.
And they're generally not the ones out making political statements. Some maybe, but most of them are, trying to figure out who they are, and they're suffering. A lot of them are, and they're being used in a way that they shouldn't be, I don't know, extorted or
I wonder when people have gender dysphoria, do they normally cross-dress? Do they normally men dress like women? Is that normal for them? Or do they tend to repress that? Do they tend to just try to dress according to their gender as of birth? Is there any information on that? I don't even know.
I don't know. Yeah. No clue.
I know I've heard statements about it where they made statements, people that we call it community, I don't know, or people that do suffer from it, that they say that they get tired of this because it kind of takes away from them. It's already complicating enough for them, and this is just confusing matters even more.
Yeah. And parents who allow, a young kid that's a girl to identify as a boy or vice versa. I mean, that to me is child abuse. You're doing that person a major disservice. And whenever they get up, they're going to have more issues than just the transgender. They're going to have a lot of, developmental issues, especially during that socialization process that kind of forms who you are as a person. They're going to have a lot of problems as they get older. And
I've heard of cases already where children have grown up and they were given medicines and things like that, things now that have caused their bodies harm for reproductive purposes. And now they're angry at their parents because why weren't you there to protect them? You should have been there to protect them. They weren't old enough to be making these choices.
Yeah, 7 and 8-year-old who can't make decisions like this, let alone a 15, 16-year-old or even a 20-year-old in most cases. Your brain's still developing until you're about 25 is what scientists say, something around there. I mean, come on now.
I mean, we talk about this stuff, and it wasn't that long ago. We had people that used to dress their boys up as girls until, 5 or 6 years of age.
Yeah, and that was a thing because it was just cheaper to do it that way, back in long time ago, because it really didn't matter in many ways because a 2-year-old probably doesn't know what gender they are really, what the clothes are. They don't really know that,
They don't care. They're not thinking about their gender at 2 years of age.
No. And they're not really thinking of the other sex as, it's another kid, it's not like it's not until you get a little bit older that you're seeing, you kind of realize the differences here, figuring things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, parents sometimes tell them, "Oh, well, girls are different than boys," and they point things out. But Otherwise, yeah, you're right. They don't catch on their own that much.
Yeah, right. Let kids be kids, for crying out loud, you know. But people who want to force, you know, their political ideology on kids, man, it's child abuse. I mean, it's evil.
I think it is. I think it
Pure
is. I
evil.
think people
Pure evil.
should let their kids grow up and be kids while they're kids, and you know, there's proper ways to raise children, and doing that is not proper. I don't know
No.
anybody could think that would be okay to say, hey, you're my son, but I'm going to dress you up like a girl, and you're gonna like being a girl, and this is how it's going to be for you. You know, it's not pushing those ideas onto children's awful.
Taking your kids to these major protests and stuff like that. I mean, that's just another thing. Plus it puts them in harm's way. It's dangerous. I mean, why would you take your kid to some protest? I mean, that's just, I don't think so. Tell them about it. Talk to them about it, and let them understand what a protest is, you know, and that they have a right to peaceful protest for sure, redress of grievances, etc. But don't take them to some protest that could turn violent, you know, in a matter of moments. And then next thing you know, you're trying to scramble to save a kid if you care about your kids anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, if there were violent protests happening in the streets, I don't think I'd take my children there. That's
Nowadays,
not giving them any
any
education in
protest,
anything.
Nearly any protest nowadays can turn violent quickly, and it's just, you know, you have to be very careful of it. I mean,
Only
be
when
cognizant.
Donald Trump's president.
Oh, right. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
It was fine when Biden was around. Everything was peaceful then, but
right. Well, never mind.
we talked
LBJ,
about this, you know, how long would it be after Trump gets inaugurated that this
Right.
breaks out again and chaos reigns in the streets? And
we've had
it didn't
violent
take long.
protests. We've had violent protests since the beginning of the Republic, for crying out loud, you know, but now we just see them on social media, and as soon as you pick up your phone, you see it, you know. But
I'm pretty sure the Sons of Liberty weren't taking their children out at midnight and burning down the governor's mansion. And
right. Yeah. Holding signs, you know, I'm a boy. No, you're a girl. We understand what you are. You know, come on.
Yeah. No, you guys make a point. It's hard to argue that point.
Back in the day, they were protesting real things, you know, segregation, real racism, you know, institutional racism, you know, you being forced to go fight a war in Vietnam that your government's lying to you about, you know, real protests, things that people were protesting for real. Nowadays, it's made up stuff. You know, you dropped a letter off of the end of the LGBTQIA. You missed one letter. How dare you? Let's kill that person. Let's go get them. It's sick.
No, we can use our right to bear arms, just like the conservatives said, but we use it in inappropriate ways, not like what the conservatives said. So we have a contentious argument going on here in Merrimack, New Hampshire, where they are wanting to build a detention center for illegal immigrants to house them 3 to 7 days before they deport them out of the country. Of course, it'll be a regional. It's not going to be for the whole country because they're going to build other centers in other various parts of the country. And we got the liberal left now is protesting that. We got Democrats here in the state are trying to hold meetings and they want to butt them out. We got Healy down there. Governor Healy out of Massachusetts was telling Governor, hey, you got to put an end to this, and you can't have this going on up there in New Hampshire. It's not good for the region. And saying, I was like, well, what are you nuts? Stay in your own backyard. You handle your own business.
Yeah.
You know, we're signing up for this. And so it's one of the times when AYAT's actually aligned with Trump. But
right.
And so they're going back and forth. They're trying to keep them from building it here. It's going to be quite a chunk of change. I think it's about $178 million to operate it for 3 years, another $158 million just to set it up.
Wow.
So, and Trump is doing various of these throughout, like I said, throughout the country. And now I'm reading that there's a group of conservatives don't think Trump's moving fast enough. But I mean, he's putting up detainment centers. He's putting up things.
Right.
But they want a plan to have over 1 million illegals removed from this country by the end of 2026.
Well, they've already moved nearly 3 million. They moved almost 700,000 illegals removed by the government and over 2 million removed themselves in the past year. So housing ought to start becoming available for all these people that are sucking up all our housing, and maybe we'll have more space in hospitals and clinics.
Right.
I want to go back, Todd, real quick to what you were talking about, how it used to be about real things. And in late 1990s, you guys might remember the torture murder of Matthew Shepard, a 21-year-old gay man in Wyoming, University of Wyoming, who was tied to a fence post and tortured and beaten nearly to death and left. He was found 18 hours later and then died 6 days later in hospital. I mean, those are real issues. That was real. That's a real hate crime, a real violent act. And we get people whose feelings are hurt today. We kind of contrast that with a real situation where someone's life was taken because they were gay, which is unacceptable, with people's feelings being hurt and misgendered. It's just, we have become a pansy society in so many ways. You're talking about real issues. That's a real issue. This nonsense that we deal with every day is not real issues. It's just feelings, hurty feelings of
Yep.
bullying. Nobody cared about bullying when we were kids, and you got people harassing all the time. That's just part of life. But now we talk about bullying. But guys, do you want to talk about Iran?
Yep.
Yeah. You got some news on the run, man. I'm just waiting for them to topple.
Oh, we're waiting on the intel report here. Come on now.
Well, we've got 2 carrier strike groups in position, and the Iranians shut down parts of the Persian Gulf to do a live fire exercise while they were negotiating with the Americans. Now that shows you their true character and what they're all about. They're negotiating with the Americans to find a peaceful solution to their nuclear program, and they want to have good relations with us. And then they shut down and do live fire exercises in the place where 20% of the world's oil traffics, one of the most important sea lanes on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
They're not genuine. They're not legitimate. And time's running out. Time is running out. Trump has a military option. The media reporting tonight that the military will be ready to strike this weekend. Quite frankly, I'm telling you, the military's been ready to strike for about 4 or 5 months. They're just putting more options in place. So are we going to see Trump attack Iran this weekend? It's Wednesday night. There's plenty of time. Remember, Friends and Only Family Fridays is coming. Friends and Only FAFO on Friday. That's coming. So maybe we have a gift for the mullahs on Friday. Who knows? But I'm not in a hurry for us to go to war with the Iranians, but we will eviscerate their military in short order. But then they'll fire missiles at Israel and murder lots of civilians. So it's a mixed bag, to say the least.
Right. Absolutely. And hopefully if we do something that Israel could be alerted in time to say, hey, seek shelter, etc., this is coming.
Well, they got the Iron Dome, and we have used subs to assist with the Iron Dome in Israel. So imagine if Trump's going to do such a thing, he would position subs for the defense of Israel, wouldn't he?
Well, the thing is that the Iron Dome is the only real hope for stopping this stuff. We don't really have any other way to stop it. So, but look, even the Iron Dome, they fired so many missiles the last time they did this that the Iron Dome was overwhelmed, and there were some that didn't take out.
Yeah.
The good news is that the Iranian rockets are not always as accurate as they could be. Some are, but some aren't. So we'll see. But this is not a war that we need. And I would hope that Trump could force these people to table, but it seems like the only way to force them to table is to send a Delta or SEAL team in and capture these lunatics and extradite them, and then negotiate with a better crowd of folks. I mean, that's a much simpler and more cost-effective way of dealing with this nonsense. So, just saying.
I don't think we're going in this weekend. And the reason why I say that is Trump doesn't like to tip his hand. He doesn't like to show his cards. You know what I'm saying? He'll say things to offset people, but when he goes in, he wants the element of surprise.
Oh, I'm not saying we're going in. That's what people are talking about. That's what I'm saying. People are talking about it. The pundits are running around saying that that's what's going on right now. We'll see.
And the administration would probably go out and put the fires out and say, we're not going to do anything, whatever. And then all of a sudden they relaxed. Boom, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, the ploy that we used last time isn't going to work this time. Of course, we sent all these aircraft across the Pacific. Look at all these aircraft. Okay, first off, they're stealth bombers. You wouldn't know they're in the air unless we wanted you to know. Think about that. Think about that.
This time they're going to head towards Venezuela and then hit Iran. That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, think about this. So that ploy is not going to work this time. It just ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I remember seeing on social media, look where our stealth bombers are. It's like they want you to know where they're at, people. Come on now.
That should have been your first hint that something is amiss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Scratching the head. Why are they going to Iran? No, we're not. We're just flying.
But I mean, I remember watching it. The whole world is being punked. They're like, oh, look, they're up to something. Look at these. They're going across Pacific. I'm like, well, okay, where are they going? To Japan? They landing in Okinawa? What's going on here? Clearly not part of the mission.
And then the perp walk of Maduro. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, that came later. But I'm talking about the Iranian nuclear. When they were bombing the Iranian, they flew these on a 36-hour mission
that's
across
true.
the
I remember
world,
that. Yeah.
refueling. And they're flying around in a stealth mode. Nobody knows where they're at. And then everyone's watching these aircraft fly across the Pacific. They have nothing to do with it. And the media fell for it. Oh, look, the attack is underway. They're attacking Iran. They're going to fly twice as far from Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska all the way across the Pacific Ocean, all the way across the Indian subcontinent, crossing dozens of countries, when all they have to do is fly across the Atlantic, cross a couple of countries' airspace, and then just come on, man. It just shows you how gullible people are. They'll believe anything. Not that it's impossible to have done that, but it's highly improbable. I mean, how would we know on FlightAware where stealth bombers are? Come on, man.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like saying you can track UFOs or something like that on there. Oh, if they want you to know where they're at, the aliens will turn on their transponders for sure.
Exactly. I know where I can find I can find all the aliens. They're hanging out at Joe Biden's house in Delaware.
Yeah, illegals.
That was the best part of that Men in Black when they said Elvis. Elvis is an alien.
Well, it's weird enough. You believed it, and that was a good punchline too, because you're like, oh, I could see that. Yeah, I can believe it.
I remember people clowning around 1980s. Elvis was running around in a UFO with Bigfoot, just popping in every now and again.
Yeah,
prove that he wasn't, John.
Prove that he wasn't. Well, that's what I keep asking these people on the left. They keep saying Orange Man bad. He's a pedophile. I'm like, you got the receipts? Show it. Where is it? Show us some evidence. Since you keep making the claims, show us the evidence. For some reason, they fall short on that.
Yeah, we're not saying that Trump's a saint. I mean, for crying out loud. But if you're going to make a bold claim, let's see a little bit of evidence, a hint of it. You're right on that, John.
Yeah, no, it's just the stupid games they play. Tell a lie enough times, people start to believe it. Problem is, it don't work anymore because we're all onto it. The jig is up. We know what's going on. It doesn't work like it used to.
Nope, that's 100%. True. And it's funny, the guys who go in and read, a classified document or files or whatever, like Schiff did and all that stuff, they can come out and allude to stuff being in there that's not even in there for political gain, because they can't come out and talk about anything that's really in these documents. So the American people think, oh, it's all in there. They read the documents. Yeah, they also came out and lied to you what's in them. And there's no way of saying otherwise unless you unclassify certain documents. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if we invade Iran, but we're primed. We've been primed all along. That's the thing that kills me. We can execute these missions in shorter. I keep telling people, and Todd knows this, these combatant commands, they have planning staffs. They are given, all right, what if this happens or that happens? What do we do? And they come up with a plan and what forces are necessary, how we achieve dominance, air superiority or air dominance, or how we achieve cyber dominance, and how we reduce casualties, and what targets we go after, what infrastructure, critical stuff. This is all laid out. Big, thick plans classified for every region of the world, everything, and probably even an invasion plan for Greenland if we had to go defending. I'll bet you there's a plan in the Northern Command that has one of those. Yeah, but people are like, oh, when are they going to be ready? All you do is like, the Gulf War, CENTCOM. You pull it off the shelf, you blow the dust off of it, and then you go, okay, here's a change here too. Here, oh, man, we no longer have that aircraft. We'll replace with this one, just as effective. It kills me that people they just anyway. We can do this at any time. There's a minimal amount of preparation to do this, and our special forces train for every possible thing. So, for instance, people don't realize the special forces go to the Olympics. What? Yeah, the special forces in the Olympics. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. They're there so that we don't have a repeat of Munich.
Yep. I remember, going to the NMCC, National Military Command Center, and watching these exercises go on. And it's like, they knew down, okay, page 2, whatever, they'd say, paragraph, whatever, go to that, boom, boom, boom. And it's quick. And these commanders understand what's going on. And it's like the colonel said, there's plans out there, and there's people that understand each of those plans. They have experts on this. I mean, these are, some big brains people. And the colonel's one of them for sure. Big brain people that understand these plans.
Well, what should have got people's attention is when they found out that the Hail Mary was an existing CENTCOM plan back in the days where we were using grease pencils and acetate and erasable markers and things like that. And,
overhead projectors.
Overhead projectors. And we're using, Wise PCs and Multimate and WordPerfect, and Lotus 1, 2, 3, these things, that was that time frame when there was only one, not AWACS, it's the one that gives the moving target indicators. The rivet joint, one rivet joint in the entire inventory, and it was a test model, and they weren't allowed to use it, and they had to get permission from the Secretary of Defense to use it. And it was one of the most important things in the war. One aircraft, rivet joint. Anyway, I think it was rivet joint. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, but all of this stuff, back then in 1991, people should have realized that, oh gosh, look at this. They pulled a plan because they told us they pulled it off the shelf. Here's the Hail Mary. There are only a few modifications. We didn't expect all those allies, but we didn't expect the Syrians to be moving with us, but they were added to the mix. And Egyptian division was added in there. But the plan was almost identical to what they came up with. People should have woke up, realized back then, wow, these guys in the military, they plan for everything. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
It's all preemptive.
to include alien invasions, and that's just for good training exercise. What if aliens?
Well, look, I mean, last time I was at Area 51, we couldn't get the alien ships to work properly. I think there's a problem with the coil system, and we're working on it.
Yeah, and all those aliens from the 1950s that we captured, they're lazy now. They unionize. They don't want to help us anymore.
Well, the thing is, the ships we captured back in the 1950s and we put in Area 51, they didn't come equipped with flux capacitors. So that was a major problem. It was a stumbling block for us. So we tried to use Cuisinarts, mounting Cuisinarts on them. And if we could get the Cuisinarts to work, then we don't need a flux capacitor. So we're just trying to sort that out.
So
once we
talking
did
about
the anti-grav.
Are we talking about the craft with the distributor caps where you had to advance the timing just right?
Yeah, no, see, that was the problem. The problem is that from their galaxy, they're silicon-based life forms. So, here they just it's like they're on the beach. They just kind of melt, So we have to kind of keep them at a cold temperature so they can keep their composition and don't fall apart. But in the Nevada desert, they're just like, they're
a jelly. They're so lazy.
They can't keep their form. They like to mimic. They're very good at mimicking. They're like Odo from Deep Space Nine. They're changelings. They can change their shape or form. It's like the Wonder Twin powers.
or quote unquote lizard people too, right? You see those out there?
Is it that Reptilians?
Come on, get it right. Reptilians.
Is she a lizard person?
A lizard person. I love it. Yeah.
What would victory look like in Iran? There's no such thing as victory in Iran. Get that out of your head right now. There are limited objectives in Iran. Removal of the mullahs would be one of them. But there will be no victory in Iran. There simply cannot be a victory. Look at Iraq. There's no victory in Iraq. We're still dealing with that nonsense 3 decades later. Victory is a very elusive thing. Declaring victory is a very dangerous thing because somebody will come back and say you weren't victorious. I mean, we won. We beat Iraq decisively in 2003, and Bush had his mission accomplished on the aircraft carrier, and it was. Mm-hmm. And they come back and stab in the back with that because of what happened when they didn't follow the plan for the reconstruction for Iraq. That's the thing. So look what's happening in Gaza. Trump has got his board of peace meeting tomorrow with all these countries, but all our allies have stayed out of it. So screw them. They have no interest in peace. They want to sell weapons. They want to foment dissent. They want to foment war. Look what they're doing in Ukraine. So here's the bottom line. The Board of Peace will meet tomorrow, and I predict it will become one of the more effective peace resolution bodies on the planet, or peace enforcement bodies. They've already committed $5 billion to the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. That's a good start. No one else has done that, so we'll see what happens. But look, you guys. I mean, think about it. Do you really think the people 5,000 years ago were sophisticated enough to make the pyramids? Obviously, aliens were involved.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's clearly true. No, come on now. We may not know exactly how they built them just because it was so long ago. Technology gets lost for sure. But human beings built those. Let's be clear on that. Took a while, but they built them.
Well, I mean, they were the slave labor for the aliens.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was it was giants. Hitching stuff from Coast to Coast AM.
It was giants. It was a race of giants or whatever. Now. So,
oh my goodness!
I mean,
the race of giants were in Atlantis.
But think about how heavy those blocks are, just the average size blocks at the Great Pyramids. And actually I got a friend over there right now. It's kind of funny. How big would that giant have to be able to pick them up and move them? I mean, I see World's Strongest Men competitions trying to pick up these boulders and these guys, and these are some of the strongest people ever, struggle with, it's a little boulder like this. So how big would the giants have to be? Come on now.
Dinosaurs would still be roaming
the earth. Giants. They weren't giants. It was anti-grav aircraft shuttles that were used by the aliens. That's how they lifted. They just slide them right off there. Okay. They could tilt them so it slides off. But the pyramids are perfectly aligned. I mean, they're perfect symmetry. It's amazing. It had to be aliens. Holden says never-ending wars. I didn't say they never-ending wars. We're not at war with Iran right now, but we just smacked the snot out of them a few months ago.
I think what you're talking about is meeting objectives, right? It's not about victory, but meeting objectives.
Correct. You can't have a victory. I mean, and anyone see that's the problem with Bush. Bush went in and he let people believe that the key was to take out weapons of mass destruction, but that was one of 17 reasons we went into Iraq. One of 17. And oh, by the way, there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. What are you talking about? Another one. Yes, there were. A Scud missile is a weapon of mass destruction. Iraq was not allowed to have any Scud missiles, yet they launched dozens from mobile launchers at U.S. forces in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia the day the war started. Those are weapons of mass destruction. They're not nuclear weapons, not as sexy as that, but no one said they had nuclear weapons. They said they had the capability to develop them. And they found the centrifuges, they found the pipes, which, well, that's for irrigation. Yeah, okay, they have dual use. They have dual use. Anyway, the point is that they actually did find weapons of mass destruction. To this day, they still lie about it. It's amazing to me how many people are suckers,
Right.
and like, well, there was no plan. Oh, there was a plan, buddy. I was the Pentagon. I was working National Security Agency. I know there was a plan. It was freaking, it's 3 feet, 4 feet high, printed out. Yeah, but the problem is that the Department of Defense and under what's his name there? He's passed on now.
Rumsfeld.
Yeah, Rumsfeld. Under Rumsfeld and the State Department under Powell couldn't get along. And so they appointed what's his name there, Paul Bremer, to be the viceroy or whatever of freaking Iraq, and nothing got done. We didn't follow the plan. They made a plan, and like the military always does, the point of departure, they just tossed out the window and ignored it. We won so quickly, they were shocked, so few casualties on our side, and such a huge magnificent victory that they all just got fat, dumb, and happy. Okay, things are fine. No, it's 135 degrees. People are sweating their tails off. They need air conditioning. Fix the power plant. There's no clean water. People are getting cholera. Clean the water up, but they didn't follow the plan. There was a plan for reconstruction, and it all fell apart because the Bush administration was comprised of idiots who fought each other instead of working together. And that's the bottom line.
Right. Absolutely. And of course, they disbanded their military security forces. The State Department did, right? And that was a big...
so that was another problem. They didn't demobilize them properly. They just put 170,000 soldiers on the street who had no income all of a sudden. And guys who knew where they also knew where the caches of weapons were at, so they went and simply got them, because the Iraqis had fallback positions with weapon caches all over the place. Perfect situation for terrorism. And the lack of common sense was applied here. I worked after that stuff started to fall apart at the Defense Intelligence. I'm like, what are you guys thinking? This isn't a surprise. Why aren't you prepared for this? But, I was just a major. They weren't listening to me, whatever.
No, Holden, Colin Powell was Secretary of State at that point. So, and you're thinking about the first Gulf War whenever he was chairman of the Joint Chiefs.
No, but Colin Powell was the Secretary of State the second time around.
During the first,
So
the second
and Rumsfeld did this, They didn't get along. So, yeah.
And it's funny is whenever he had to speak at the UN, if you remember that, he forced the CIA director to sit right behind him.
I heard that testimony, and I was working the National Security Agency when that went on without disclosing sources, methods, or classified information. What he said was perfectly correct and accurate. The Iraqis want us to believe they had a nuclear weapons and a weapons of mass destruction program. They want us to believe that. They frustrated the International Atomic Energy Agency and Scott Ritter and these clowns who claim there was nothing going on. They intentionally frustrated them. They intentionally would move things. It was like being in the motor pool when I was a junior enlisted troop. We don't have the BII, the basic initial issue, the pickaxes and the shovels and the lug wrenches because someone lost in the field. So we have it out on display for the first vehicle. As the platoon leader and the platoon sergeant go down and check each vehicle, then the guys in the front take the stuff, run all the way down behind the trailers and put it down there for the end. And just there, oh, look, they've got equipment too. And this is what the Iraqis were doing. And Scott Ritter fell for it.
Yeah, you act like, we're still getting it out of the back. Yeah, no, I'm taking it from the front and bringing it around.
Exactly. But I mean, you've got 30 vehicles lined up. It's a long way from one to the other. Anyway, it's just the same thing was happening with Iraq. They want us to believe that, and the Bush administration was foolish in letting that narrative run because it was sexy. Weapons of mass destruction. You didn't need it. There was no need for that. Iraq had illegally invaded Kuwait and threaten the world's oil supply, not the U.S. oil supply, the world's oil supply. Without the Middle East, the Persian Gulf oil from Iran, Iraq, and from Saudi Arabia, Europe and Japan would have collapsed. Mm-hmm. And now these days, China as well. China would collapse because they get their oil from Iran. They didn't need much oil back then because their economy was tiny, but it was less than $2 trillion back then. Now it's close to $20 trillion. The point is that those economies depend on. Now, if those economies collapse, it has an impact on the U.S. We're not an island to ourselves. We rely on some trade with these countries, but we're not as reliant on trade as countries like Germany, where half their GDP is trade. Just a quarter, less than a quarter of our GDP is trade. So we could survive that much better than they can. But look, this is just the way it is. And then, by the way, I should mention this. One of my moderators, who is a South African who applied for the FG program a year ago, has arrived in Washington, D.C. today and is at his hotel tonight, flying to his ultimate destination tomorrow.
Okay. So that's what the comment means.
Welcome to America, Mad Max. Good to see you here. And once you get settled and get some sleep, you need to get back to work as my free unpaid moderator doing your job.
Yeah, get to work. Welcome to America. Get to work.
For free.
Yeah, thank you, Mad Max. I appreciate it.
We used to refer to that as the vast unpaid research department.
Is that what it is? Okay.
That's how we used to call it back in the day. But moderator, research department, it's all, in the neighborhood. So Light Rain's talking about, I think Coral Castle. That guy died in 1951.
Yeah, that down in Florida. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Leeds. He was born in Latvia or.
Yeah, but down in Florida, he would work at
Edward
night.
Leeds Skellman. It's hard name to pronounce. He was born in like 1887, died in 1951. Built the Coral Castle in Florida. That's kind of it was kind of an interesting thing listening to Coast to Coast AM. They were talking about how he had to move the castle from one location in Florida to another, and he would only load the trucks at night when no one was around because he didn't want anybody to know how he was moving all this stone.
Mm-hmm. But wasn't aliens, wasn't alien tech, or was it?
Maybe he was an alien.
Coast to Coast AM.
George Norrie.
Yeah, I love it.
George Norrie. I was going back to the days of Art Bell, but George.
Yeah, well, Art Bell started. Don't forget, John B. Wells was on there too.
Yeah,
he was a guest host many times on Coast to Coast.
That show used to keep me awake late at night driving across the country.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Coast to Coast AM. And I love that.
I would purposely shut my truck down to get up at midnight to catch it at 1 a.m. to hear it for that 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was out west, so it was, you did mountain time zone. A lot of times I heard that. So you kind of catch it in between. So it isn't quite so late. Yeah. Coast to Coast. It's still on, isn't it?
It is.
I believe, George Norrie still runs it. It's kind of gotten a lot softer. I haven't listened to it in a lot of years now. I stopped listening to it many years ago because I'm not up those hours as a rule. But it seemed to me it wasn't the same as when Art Bell was there. It's still good, but it just changed.
I mean, that's where I learned about the aliens.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of education on aliens with Art Bell.
Oh yeah, lots of alien talk on there, man. It was pretty wild.
He loved alien talk. I'll tell you what.
Coast to Coast. Those voices too. All three of them had great radio voices.
Oh yeah, I love the chat over here. Mad Max has to change his name from Mad Max South America or South Africa to US. There you go. Yep, change the name. You're an American now, or you're in America. You'll be an American soon.
Well, not
Mad
that
Max.
soon.
Did he pick it up
soon
from the
enough.
movie?
Soon enough.
I wonder if he took his name from the movie Mad Max.
I'm guessing it's where it came from. It has nothing to do with his given name at all.
Yeah, no, I imagine not.
And we don't give out real names here. Obviously, if we're not going to blow your cover here, folks.
Well, I think Holden isn't a real name to his person.
No, Holden Caulfield. That's from well, maybe it is.
Mice
I don't
and
know.
Men. No, I think he took it from Mice and Men, right?
Caulfields. Okay, it's different. No. So the what's the book? It was what was it? Catcher in the Rye. Holden Caulfield.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't. This is a different Caulfields. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read the name.
He changed the spelling on it. It used to be Caulfield as in a field.
Okay, gotcha.
Field, and he changed it some time ago.
Gotcha, no problem. Yeah.
But some of these people might be their real name. I see Tom here. That might be his real name. And
Mel's Hole. Wonder what that's from. Okay, Mel's Hole.
Mel's Hole.
Yeah.
That was a great Art Bell. And there's a guy named AJ. You ever watch the Y-Files on YouTube? AJ and Hecklefish.
Yeah.
He covered Mel's Hole too.
The fish annoys me though. That's
good comedy relief.
I know. It's he gets in depth in some stuff too. That's pretty good. I've seen him on some serious podcasts as well, and he gets pretty in depth. Pretty intelligent guy.
He does. He was on with Tucker Carlson at one time. He was in the audio video field and stuff. Into production, and so he knows what he's doing when he puts on a show, and he goes to pretty great extents to make a good show happen.
Okay.
Except for he does the gotcha game sometimes. He'll sit there and lead you down the storyline. And in the last couple of minutes, he does a whole clarity thing about, and you could go with this ghost story, but then there's this effect of this, and then he goes into this whole like gotcha game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well produced, shows like that on YouTube. That's keeps YouTube going. I mean, I hate the banning and all that stuff, shadow banning, deleting people's channels. That's not right. But, being not doing the same thing everybody else does, I think draws an audience for sure.
Yeah. He's got a niche. Yeah.
Yeah. A niche. There you go. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. That's true.
And Sean, she's so she's going to keep planting her garden while listening to this. Well, I can't think of a better thing for you to listen to while you're planting your garden.
Planning it.
As well as says planning. I think
I
she
see
meant
that.
planting.
No, it's too early to plant. It's only February. So I don't know what
Oh,
you
then
plan.
maybe she means planning, as in figure out how she can put it all together. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, the Democrats are still holding up the Department of Homeland Security, but it's not stopping ICE. ICE, baby. They're out there doing
got a lot-
operations all over the country.
Them sinners that I was telling you about came out of the big beautiful bill, so they're already funded for this.
$70 billion. This isn't going to stop. This train is going to keep going for a while. It isn't going to stop.
Mhm.
It's driving the Democrats nuts. They've actually backed off on some of the requirements, but they still want to put the lives of ICE agents in jeopardy by having them walk around with their faces exposed. And we've seen what these people have done to dox their families and threaten their families.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got Joe, Texas with a Z. Hello, everyone from Texas. Good stuff. Appreciate Texas tuning in. Absolutely.
yeah, at my meet and greet, John B. Wells and his wife Brenda came to that down there in Texas. We were talking about coast to coast.
Yeah, you
I
told
was
told
gonna say that. You
we
said it
talked
kind of
about that last
casually
time.
too.
Yeah, just to throw it in there. Yeah.
John,
I had
what?
John B. Wells at my meet and greet. No big deal. Yeah.
He's only been on a show like a million times.
A million times. Like a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'll be on his show like next week or whatever. Yeah, well, I'm going to be on it tonight. He's like, all right, whatever.
No announcements or nothing. He just kind of like casually.
I'll
Oh,
be
the other
on it
day when I was on
tonight.
John's show, John B. Wells, man, keep up.
He came to my meet and greet. No big deal.
It's good. It's good to be loved.
Right.
Oh
Casual
my
name dropping.
goodness. Yeah. No, I mean, as far as I know, a lot of people don't know who John B. Wells is. I mean, I know John knows he is because the coast to
Oh, for
coast.
sure.
I didn't know if, yeah. So
He has a
but
classic the radio voice he's got.
he's got
great.
a class. He's got that voice. So Chris, I just want to tell you, I want to thank you a lot.
And the way he
I want to thank you
questions
very much.
too. The
Yeah,
way he
no, it's
questions
great.
is great.
Yeah,
He's
his
got a good style.
timing, his timbre, his timing, it's his intonation. It's all spot on, man. It's really, really good stuff. He was cigarette smokes model back in the day
Right.
in South Africa, the Lexington brand. He was known as the Lexington Man. What a cool nickname to have. The Lexington
Marlboro Man, Lexington Man. There you go.
Exactly. So yeah.
You got a beautiful wife.
Yeah, Brandy Wells, lovely lady. And
good
the
people.
meet and greet was pretty good. So
Yeah.
I'm off to Pittsburgh, not this weekend, but next weekend. But I'll be back for the show. I'm leaving after the show and headed up there to meet some more refugees. We got a family that came over who had a service dog. They have a teenage daughter who's 18. I thought she was about 15. She was very young, but she has a service dog, which, if I understand correctly, she trained. The dog recognizes medical conditions she has by detecting the chemicals that her body's beginning to release about 15 minutes before her blood pressure drops and she faints. And of course, that can be devastating. You could fall and crack your skull open or break something.
Yes.
So the dog nudges her when he starts to smell the chemicals to let her know that she's in danger, so she can lie down and equalize and get it. So it's amazing. And she has an Instagram channel. The dog is called Bruce the Service Dog on Instagram.
Oh.
It's Bruce _ the _ service dog. I think it's one or twice, but you can find it on Instagram. Just look up Bruce the Service Dog, and she gets like 10 million views a week on that thing about that
Wow.
dog. Very
Yeah.
popular. And then she lives in
Good.
South Africa. So imagine she's getting attention from all over the world because there aren't that many people in South Africa that go to one Instagram account every week. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, somebody says John B. Wells is number 2 in the ratings. Not sure which rating specifically, but also Tom Pultney from Illinois says hello. Thanks for Illinois for tuning in for sure.
Hey, Tom, good to see you there. Yeah, no, I know I'm not number 2 in the ratings. I used to be number 1 in the ratings for content creators in South Africa, but with the demise of YouTube lately, I'm sliding way down the scale. I might still be up there, but if I'm still up there, that means it's tragedy for everyone, not just for me. But something's going on with YouTube. Past month or 2 months or so, it's been really weird. It doesn't matter what people do; they can't seem to figure out the algorithm or break the algorithm.
Yeah, that was a story I was watching a little like a YouTuber talked about that a little bit ago. Like, there's something going on over there that nobody's getting any traction anymore. It's just stagnant. Or
I
something
think
like
it's my fault, honestly. I do, because
Reply all.
I've been taking my YouTube and putting it into my X account and my Facebook account, trying to grow the YouTube a little bit. And that platform I hated and wanted to get rid of. And as soon as I start doing something with it, all of a sudden it goes downhill. It's got to be my fault, man.
Well, I thought you tripped over the power cable or something, and that's what happened.
The ONOFF switch. Yeah,
It's just that dumb luck, I'm telling you.
Homer Simpson at the nuclear power plant, the on and off switch. Oh, there we go. Good job, Homer.
Sometimes I think these social media platforms do it to themselves. I really do. They think they're too big to fail, and they do these nonsensical things. And I'm surprised a lot of people stay with them. You know, it's like you say, they get so big, and then they're cutting down people's reach or ability to reach, or they probably put that little carrot, dangle that carrot. Just work a little harder, man. Just work a little harder on your content. You know, people are working full-time jobs trying to put a little content out there and have fun, but they can't get any reach because they're trying to string them along just to work a little harder to get some of that reach. You know.
Right. Oh, somebody said love the original Jack Reacher. There you go, Colonel.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great because we were talking about Robert Duvall in the first hour, and he was in that. It was a fantastic character. I thought it was one of his best roles. I really enjoyed it. It was in his 80s already. Duvall was a hell of an actor. He was really talented, But when I was talking about John tripping and disconnecting the internet, it reminded me of the IT Crowd. There was an episode in the IT Crowd where
so funny. Father.
No, not that one. Jen. This is the internet.
Okay, gotcha.
And they hand her a box. And she's like, "That's the internet." Did you turn off the internet? She's an idiot. She knows nothing. So I see here, Jen, that you're an IT specialist. You know a lot about IT. Yeah, that's on my CV.
Yeah, so that's on there.
Tell me something about it. Well, I mean, there's email, sending email and receiving email, and the thing. You mean the hard drive? Yeah, the hard drive.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're talking about. I'm going
to put you in our IT department. Genuine geeks. Anyway, wow. Anyway, yeah, she gets down there. They give her the internet in a box. That was just too funny. My first browser actually was ironically called Internet in a Box. I bought it at a discount warehouse. I don't know if they're in business anymore. Kind of like Sam's Club back in the day in the early 1990s, 94. And it was a brown cardboard box. It was bigger than the one I got in my hand here. The audience can't hear this or see this, but it was bigger than this box. And it was just some paperwork and a floppy disk in there that had the browser on it. And it was like kind of based off of Mosaic, which is the first graphical browser. And I bought it, and that was my first browser ever. And it also had a bunch of bookmarks already built into it to take you to places like Alta Vista and all these other things, which was the original search engine. It was pretty cool. But my first ever browser was Internet in a Box.
Oh, what's this? You got Joe, as Mad Max is talking about to Joe here. Can't wait to join Colonel 4th of July for freedom celebrations. And hopefully rugby box versus All Blacks in USA. What's going on there? What do we got?
Not sure what's going on in the 4th, what he's talking about there, but this year, something that hasn't happened for a long, long time because the advent of professional rugby. The All Blacks are going on tour to South Africa, and they play several games in South Africa against the national side, the Springboks, and also against the provincial clubs like the Stormers, the Bulls, and the Sharks, and the Lions, I think. So they also play one of those games in Baltimore, and I'll be at that game. I have a ticket to the Baltimore game at Ravens Stadium there, M&T Bank, as I used to call it, Empty Bank Stadium. M&T Empty Bank Stadium. I bought a ticket, and I got like the lowest price ticket was like $140, and it's on the top row at the end of the end zone. I'm like, my goodness, but it's going to be great. I'll run into a lot of South Africans there, and hopefully there won't be any fights with the New Zealanders because they'll be sorry to fight with South Africans because they'll get their butts kicked. Yeah, but no, but it's a big deal. So I'm not sure he's talking about on the 4th. I have to check the schedule. I don't think their games start until August.
Yeah, or maybe that's just celebrating the 250th anniversary of the country. Maybe that's what that is. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I think he's talking. He wants the 4th of July and then some rugby and then also the tour of the USA. Yeah, he's talking about 3 different things there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the Baltimore thing. So they'll be coming here. That's huge. I mean, they are making some serious coin. I looked. I pre-registered, and then I didn't get the message. It came, but I didn't see it. Because it came, like at nighttime or when I was busy doing something, and I saw it like 12 hours later. And by the time I went in there, like 95% of the seats were gone. They're just gone. There was almost nothing left.
Wow.
And the seats were still available. There was like $800 seats, $2,000 seats. The cheapest seat I could find was $140. Whew, man, it was crazy. So
how strong of the binoculars did you need for that $140 seat?
Yeah, it's less about that and more about the atmosphere of going to a game. I've been to that stadium before, and I had a free seat that someone gave me, and I sat up at a high level, but around the 40-yard line, but way up the top, and I could see the field fine. So this will be in the end. It's fine. I'm going to go stay Friday night in the Inner Harbor, and I'll be able to leave my car there, walk to the stadium. I'm going to offer to meet up with a bunch of South Africans the Friday night, and then in the afternoon, it's the whole Saturday is just going to be epic. it'll be a lot of fun and really looking forward to it. So
Good.
it
Good
should be a
deal.
blast. Yeah, should be a blast. So,
Good stuff.
yeah. I've already met South Africans around the country and talked to South Africans who said they're coming to the game. They've already got tickets. One of these groups, because if you're a registered group, you can buy sections of tickets or blocks tickets. A group called the Braai Army, which is South African fans. I met them in France in 2023. They gave me a cap to give to one of the most famous rugby players in South Africa, who's a friend of mine, Nas Botha. He finally got his cap, by the way, a few months ago. I left it with someone. He finally got it. But this group bought 600 tickets, and so they are coming 600 strong, South African fans.
Wow.
Just that group alone. So yeah, so it's gonna be epic. And I know they got tickets that range from $300 to $800 in their group. So pretty wild.
That's good. That's going to be fun. Yeah, that's going to be fun for you for sure. We'll have a report out after the fact for sure on the show.
Yeah. Now someone's asking if I went to see Max at the airport. No, because Wednesdays I have this program, and if it had come on a different day, I would have been able to drive down to Dulles and greet them at the airport and gone with them to the hotel. But what I did instead is he had his phone on Wi-Fi. I called him up just before the show started tonight, and I said, okay, now turn your phone around and go over so I can wave and say hi to everybody. So I greeted all the South African refugees that just arrived.
Oh, good deal. Love it. Yep. And then they're coming here for the right reasons too. I mean, these are true refugees and 100% true refugees.
Absolutely. But they're being attacked on all sides by right wingers, by left wingers, by racists, by politicians. And it's sad. A family I had on recently is they have children, and people are saying nasty things about their children. There's just some evil people out there.
Yes,
there's no reason.
When you say politicians, could you be more descriptive about that? Are you saying politicians on the left or just in general? Or
well, I'll give you one example. The foreign minister of South Africa has on CNN's Misinformation White Genocide documentary, which is a joke. By the way, I have another one coming out this week talking about something else, another joke about the white Christian nationalism, another CNN effort to undermine America. But this was a hate Trump documentary. They had the foreign minister, and Ronald Mullah said, this program is a white supremacy program. And the little leprechaun from Ireland, who was a journalist and interviewed me, but never included me in his documentary, O'Donnell, what his name is anyway, he says, Donny O'Donnell, he said, so you're saying that the program is white supremacist? And he says, yes, it's white supremacists because it's only for white Afrikaners. Well, that's a lie. I've interviewed colored, mixed race South Africans, Indian South Africans who are brown, and also black children who are adopted by white families. So I've interviewed all sorts of people. So the guy just lied. That's one example. And so these people are being attacked from all sides, and they really feel under a lot of pressure. And on top of that, they're refugees. Most of them come here with nothing, and they're starting from scratch, and they're getting treated poorly. Some of them by the refugee agencies. Many are being treated well, but still, it's a lot of pressure. You're giving up your home. You're here. You've got to start. You got to get a job. Got to get a social security number. You got to get moving. So it's just really sad to see the way that these people are being treated by bigots and racists who have preconceived notions about things. It's the same sort of people that come in my program. Oh, he must be a white supremacist because he's pink and he's got blonde hair. It's just shut up. You know what you're talking about. It's just dumb people. The world's full of stupid people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they should wear signs, right?
Absolutely. Here's your sign. I was curious about. Oh, never mind. Sorry, to me nasty.
I didn't see your sign there.
Here's your sign. I didn't see your sign. Yeah.
There it is. Speaking of signs, there's our sign, and we have reached the end of the show. That's our 2-hour bit, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you got something out of it. You have yourselves a good week. Continue to listen to WSMN for other good content, and we will catch you next week, same time, same place. Y'all take care.
Oh,